probably most notably known as Bad News Eagles, right? Team made back-to-back RMRs and majors. Probably, in fact, not probably, in my opinion, one of the most exciting teams I've watched in the previous few majors, because these guys give their heart and soul into the game. And, I think their story is quite inspiring, just being friends in LAN cafes and playing all together and things like that. And the fact that they've come this far, reaching top 32 globally in the biggest event of the year back to back now, I think is just inspiring. And I'm really keen to see what these guys have got going for them. I think they'll be the first to admit that recent results have been quite patchy, Brandon, but if they can set their focus ahead, keep running in this upper bracket, keep doing what they've been doing, currently 6 matches, then yeah, what's not to say? This is a time of good things to come.
And it's seemingly come out of nowhere as well. I mean, you take a look at their results recently, and I agree, incredibly inconsistent. It felt like they couldn't find a series win for a very long time, and all of a sudden, they've now chained 6 of them in a row. So hopefully they can keep up this form, because I tell you what, it's the perfect time to hit a purple patch coming into the online finals. So let's see if they can surprise. A big result against, well, big, would be a very good outcome. Head to head, we picked Crimbo versus Rigon. I tell you what, numbers just speak for themselves. And for me, I'm looking at that impact rating for Rigon. Like the fact that it's a 1.21 compared to Crimbo's 1.06, despite Crimbo being our highest rated player, it's really interesting to me.
Yeah, I think this is the obvious one. When you go on the HLTV match page, and it's like, well, they are the highest rated players. But I think both of these players really exciting to watch, Brandon. We know Rigon as this electrifying rifleman, just dominate servers. Crimbo as well has really come into his own as of recent, and as you can see, past 3 months, outclassing Rigon when it comes to rating. As you mentioned, that impact heading the way of the guild side. ADR, maybe a less notable feature. They are quite level. Cast as well, leaning in favour of Crimbo by a fair margin. Again, I think the most notable stats are first and third on that list, which is going to be very exciting. But of course, Brandon, it isn't just about the players, it's about the maps as well. I think for us and our sake, this is quite a predictable as well. Obviously, Nuke, Mirage, the perm bans for Guild Eagles and for Big, so we can get rid of those. It's Guild Eagles that go first. Oh, sorry, it's Big that go first. So Guild Eagles second. They ban Nuke. Picking into Vertigo, quite bog standard. Ancient, the pick of Guild Eagles. Now, this is interesting. They had it their way. They'd have gone Mirage. I thought next best option would have been that Overpass. Big ban it out next, understandably so. Vertigo, Ancient, Anubis. Pretty funky, pretty cool BO3 in terms of maps.
Yeah, I honestly thought we'd be seeing Overpass or maybe even Anubis coming out for Guild Eagles. But instead, they've gone for Ancient, despite their win rate not being the best in recent. They're just playing on what they feel comfortable on right now. And I feel like this is a classic example of stats don't really tell the full story because, as we've mentioned, they're on a 6-match streak. Feeling comfortable with one Ancient last however many best of 3 played, then why not go for it? Why not pick into it? And it's a very favourable veto for Big when you take a look at it on paper. But when it actually comes down to it, I just wonder whether Guild Eagles know something maybe we don't.
I was going to say, if you're picking Ancient here and you're Guild Eagles, you have to have done your homework, Brandon. There is no way you can come into this map ill-prepared for what Big have to offer, because I think we've watched Big on Ancient before, Brandon. We saw them play Preezy and 00 Nation in the Time Finals 4. They had played in the Thunderpick World Championship against Heroic, against Furia twice. And interestingly enough, right, in Thunderpick, Big were 3 for 3. They beat Furia and Heroic, Furia twice in fact. But since then have lost 3 on the bounce. So I'm guessing for Guild Eagles, it's, look, I know our Ancient isn't good, but if there is ever a time to try and pick this Ancient, it would be now, because Big have hit a little bit of a slump on it. So maybe Guild Eagles not only doing their homework in terms of research into knowing what the patterns are looking like for Big on Ancient, so hopefully learning how they play. Because for my vote at least, my bet of confidence, BO3, I would have to go for the safe option, and that is Big. And statistically, as you say, 2 maps feels very likely, but you're willing to pick the Ancient. If you know you're going to go toe-to-toe with Big on Vertigo since it's such a pick map, surely Guild Eagles have got something to bring to the table here in this BO3.
Yeah, I'm going to actually go the other way. I actually think Guild Eagles can win this best of. And I was just taking a look at series that they've won in a row. They've played Ancient twice in those 6 series and won them every time. One was 100%. Well, so I feel like they can do it. I just feel like it all depends a lot on momentum, and this echoes a lot in kind of what we're saying about South American teams yesterday, where it does thrive on momentum. These guys, the Eagles, they are extremely emotional players as well. So if you get off to a very good start, the fact that they're in a really as well, that can also hinder Big, because Big are struggling to close out games quite a lot in the series that they play. So suddenly, if you don't give Big the chance to maybe close the game, or if you've got some rounds to catch up on, you're never out of the running here. And I feel like that's going to be the interesting, decisive point in this series. And I feel like when you go toe-to-toe, when you add the context in, I actually think Guild Eagles can win this best of three.
Fair enough. Interesting enough, this is how old it was. We played on Dust 2, but but there has only been one map recorded in history between, and it was in the Challenger stage of IEM Rio. Bad News Eagles at the time, obviously Guild Eagles now, won it 16-11. Obviously that's MR15, and that is a very old map pool. We're talking a bit ago now, right? So yeah, look, I'm keen to see if this rematch is going to go the same way as it did in Rio. Let's find out as we jump into the action. It's map 1. It's the pick of Big. It's Vertigo.
All right, let's jump into it then. Mr. Ryan Retro Bernard. Big Guild Eagles. Don't know why I used your government.
Government name, yep,
yeah,
thank you.
That's fine. CT side. It's on the Twitters. It's okay. Synopsy pushing mid. Crimbo might get a contest early on. In fact, it's a triple layering in towards mid. Crimbo spots players, and, well, he feels a lot of lead and doesn't get one of them. That was a lot of commitment, though, in towards middle, and that accelerates Big up A.
Yeah, you have to commit here. Now that you know there's two sets of Julies, Sin's trying to create a little bit of a lurk and a fake towards B, but A is the choice, and Guild Eagles can't hold on to that man advantage for all too long. It's Process that puts the pressure down. Incendiary towards the headshot position, but look at this. It doesn't matter if GSX gets the kill. I was going to say it's Synopsy towards default, but it doesn't work out for him. Instead, one flat throw in on gap, able to find another, and isolating these fights is what's been working out trumps for the Guild Eagles camp. One flat throw still refacing, and now's another head. Man 2 drop next. Tabson 1v3 for these players low. Man idolized by the rest of his squad. Oh, yeah, but it has to be within 45 seconds. Peek out, one flat throw there, and he is off to a fantastic start. 1-0, Guild Eagles strike first.
Yeah, don't poke the bear. I'm not talking about the German forces of Big. I'm talking about Juan Flatro. Incredible stuff from him. And the one thing you don't really want to do here if you are Big is give these guys 1v1 fights, because, as you can tell, it doesn't really work out great for you. There's that double swing coming in from ramp. It does earn Big a kill, but from there, it's all individual in nature. Guild Eagles take that all day long.
Second. Up next, Guild Eagles get to provide themselves with good buys. It's on the eco. Eagle of Crimbo that strikes first, sitting the ramp play a little silent. One flat throw knows distance is his friend. GXX sliding down the ladder will find himself on with the Julies. And it's interesting that GXX here treats this basically as a fully fledged eco round, right? You've got $3,000 heading into this round, 6.4 heading out. My guess is there could be a nice little AWP tucked into the hands of this Guild Eagles side heading into round 3.
There it is, instant. Gonna prioritize this AWP as much as possible. GXX is immediately out on it, and you know that Big haven't planted the bomb in either round, so you know that this AWP is also going to be uncontested, which means he can go for these peaks. He's got the spawn for B, he's kind of got the spawn for middle as well, and there's been a lot of prioritization here with GXX in towards middle in the first couple of rounds, and let's see if that continues. This time it's Juan Flatro running, holding the angle. It's Synopsy, a double rifle setup here.
Elevated angle, double stack. Hard. Out towards sight again. Damage right now. No lead exits the barrel of any gun just yet. Damage. Well, for the other side, it's show their cards early doors here, Brandon. We know them as a very calculative team. Willing to give up anything to Guild Eagles' side just yet. Very slow, very passive. Bring up ramp. All on deaf ear. Guild Eagles know nothing about this.
It's good that the players on A are playing quite passive compared to the aggressive stance in towards mid, but Scenari could be caught off guard. Instead, it's a nade. That does a lot of damage here. Smoke dribbled forward and isolating players as well. Scenari finds one. GXX kind of stuck in towards Gap. Will still find one on the way out. And Big are yet to plant the bomb, but they've got the site now.
Nicely traded from Juan Flatro. They do have the site, Brandon, but the pressure is good. Did spot around the edge. Mantu and his AK, and it's Scenari that spams right through. He actually left down to just Crimbo now. 1v3, we highlighted him in the head-to-head. Toe-to-toe with 60% of this Guild Eagles side. Towards headshot, smoke between the two, tapping away. Juan Flatro now knows what's up. The rest of the squad do as well, and Crimbo realizes that was my way in. Don't find the shot. This is my way out. So it will be 3 for 3 here. Guild Eagles, great start here to Vertigo.
And they're more than happy to play in these confined spaces. The fact that GXX is, in essence, trapped on Gap. Smoke thrown forward by Scenari is really impressive as well because it funnels Big round the corner and they can only peek him one by one just by the nature of the way the smoke bloom. Really nicely done by your AWP. There is that kill, and you can see that the trade spacing is just a little bit off kilter for Big, and suddenly Guild Eagles, there's like 3 more players here in quick rotates. That's the benefit of having double mid.
On Flatro sets himself up for a fight. They can just get. Oh, I like this. Aim Big trying to calculate it. When they're on the pistol, they know can punch in the right numbers at the right times. It could really test this Guild Eagles defense. Up. Harry. Try and work around it. Any enemies in front of him? Well, information, Brandon. That's all that goes.
Yeah, and it's absolutely fine. They're not hanging around for too long here. They gather up the info, as you mentioned, and then they just back up immediately. Very cool, very calm. 45 seconds left, and no progression's really been made to this ramp. Process dodges that nade. It doesn't quite blow up the smoke, so Guild Eagles are aware there could be players here, and now they hit all the footsteps running forward. Process challenging on towards Gap, but Scenari and Juan Flatro in a good setup.
Oh, I like the spam as well. Scenari, good damage done to Sin. All unconfirmed. Is through a wall. Sin, and he damage done, chipping away at the HP bars of this big side. 18 seconds left. They have left them no time to go for this one. Smoke blocking the vision. Scenari used this one to work around as well. Players push it in, but there's 2 quick kills. Juan Flatro defends, and oh, he shall! 3 frags, Deagle drawn, ready for more. It's Mantu that will find the frag, but it's going to be after time. This round clocked in for Guild Eagles, and what a 3K from Juan Flatro.
Hang on a second, there could still be even more! He's in a no-scope! After the time expires! No money for you, Crimbo. Sent to the Shadow Realm with just 400 in his pocket. What a hold. And it's got to be said for Big. I mean, that was a really good way to crack open the defense. They call a 3-2-1 and they all go through the smoke. Pistol shots connecting. Trying to overwhelm at close ranges. But how about this one, Juan Flatro? Time expires. Regon swings. He even collects the AWP and then puts that in the kill feed for good measure. Of course, Big have got to take a pause. They're rattled.
There's like a few ticks left of that round until it ends as well, by the way, Brandon. Like, there is so little time for Rigon to hit that shot. Just goes for it. He knows if he plays balls to the wall, just angry, eager counter-strike, after the time, you get no money. See, Big forced hand, Crimbo on a Deagle.
And I'll tell you what, if you're Guild Eagles now, you've just seen that Big have taken a pause. You've been playing very structured, very safe. Maybe this is the round you blend in your aggression. The aggression that you're so very much known for. 3 players lean A early. Rigon has a little bit of a peek towards B, but doesn't see anything.
Yeah, this is it. Look, Scenari, SMG, right up close towards ramp. Wants to see if he can poke at this big side. GXX with the rewalk into middle, but it's B where first blood's drawn. Rimbo can make an upgrade, but of course it's a teammate that's fallen. Nade goes in. Rigon! Yes! Electrifying again with his M4, shutting things down single-handedly. Taking steps from big brother Juan Flatro. And it has all fallen neatly into place for the Guild Eagles once again. Juan Flatro's on a big flank as well. You can see it on the X-ray. There is no way Big are winning this round. Rigon hunting for more. Blood shed towards B, and Juan Flatro closes.
Yeah, and now it actually does feel like Big Brother for the Germans because all eyes are on them for a response. 5-0 immediately, you've got no money. And in fact, you've had no bomb plant all half long. Has to be Tech 9s, has to be Deagles. Your primary objective now, place the C4 on the damn bomb site. But when you got defenders like this, that on either site, we've seen the A defense be so resilient. Now we get a masterclass of individual expertise from Rigon. And Juan Flatro, who starts A, ends B with the quickest flank of the lot. He is 12-1.
Yeah, this is the Guild Eagles side we know and love. This is the Guild Eagles side that play with confidence and inspire fear on your opponents. Scenario yet again with that MP9 looking for damage. It's done in the form of the M4 through the smoke. Juan Flatro just holds Mouse one and he'll find himself another. His second death, but his 14th frag. Looking good right now for the Guild Eagles. Mantu and Crimbo left to hold down the 4 on ramp. You can already see that one single push in the last round from Juan Flatro has caused all sorts of terror in this T side, Brandon, because they don't know if there's going to be a flank. They don't know Guild Eagles are going to go hunt him from behind.
Actually a really smart move that Guild Eagles have done here as well in the early stages of the round. Because all they've done is just rinse and repeat, because they never saw that Scenario was getting down gaps so fast with the MP9. Bit of a weird timing here in towards middle. And it probably will cost Synopsy his life. And that means there's a pathway in towards B here. Synopsy, oh no way they missed. And now we can back off. He's just playing on top of the Guardian of the construction site. Coming into his domain and he will mow you down. You cannot give this guy a chance to kill you because he will. And he'll take it away from Big.
Fantastic job. I mean, look, damage is damage at the end of the day for Big, but you've got to understand when you're 6 for 6 on your CT side of Vertigo, start scratching your head a little bit, mate. You know, is there another pause coming soon for Big? Is this where we have to really put pen to paper and start writing our side of the story in game? Odds over at 1xbet. We've only seen 6 rounds of Counter-Strike, Brandon, already admitting maybe this Guild Eagles side have a chance.
Oh no. That's not ideal, is it? One flashbang missed, and as a result, Guild will continue just to throw these grenades down the base of the ramp. JXX occupying his usual position on A, wanting to fight Gap, wanting to go in towards Mantu, but this time, Big Orpa wins out this head-to-head, an early man advantage, something that's become a little bit of a luxury here for Big.
Now they can start pushing in. Smokes well timed, so it's Big that now can put their foot down and take offense. It's Process. 2 frags, Tabson another, and now a 1v3 for Scenari. Quietest individual of the lot here on the T side, but it would be a vocal 1v3 to win. It's in his smoke. Unfortunately, Mantu on the other side here to inflict more damage. Big on the board, took him 7 rounds. Finally deliver on that one that we were expecting. Can they make it the first of many, or Guild Eagles able to shut things down, stop the momentum from spiraling more out of control?
Reaction there from Big. They understand that JXX is going to be in towards Gap, post Mantu on the angle, and then as soon as this happens, look, there's only one smoke that covers and filters out both sides on towards the A bomb site, but you're primarily cutting off headshot. And Big know that they can just try and funnel these players in towards the Gap side. From there, it's an absolute onslaught. Orange on blue in the feed, and early nade damage for Juan Flatro. Heaviest hitter of this CT side so far, and him walking wounded isn't a good sign for things to come here for Guild.
Good start, as you say. Juan Flatro caught double naded, and Big that are learning about this Guild Eagles defense. One Flatro seems to always want to go early aggressive on gaps, so they're holding out for it. Mantu this time with his AWP, expecting someone to wander down with that lurk smoke. Boarded, so now fills the void and takes his place. Double stack where one play waits for another. Oh, head spotted. Oh, Sceneri pulls the trigger a little too quickly, expecting something good out of it, but Mantu ducks for cover before it gets too out of hand. Still a 4v5 they're going to have to work back from, not to mention received quite heavily for Guild Eagles. Sceneri down to 37, Synopsy at 90.
They're not even
30
going,
seconds left. Yeah, I was going to say, Sin's wandering B and Tabson not far behind him.
And this is smart out of Big, because notice they haven't felt any pressure on these flanks. And a number of rounds in which Guild Eagles have gone for retakes, it's been with the whole force just charging in at once. Another example of it, 1-for-1 trades is exactly what the Doctor ordered for Big, because they can plant the bomb. And they're still in an advantageous situation. Sceneri misses the jump. And whilst his Ragdoll spreads out like an eagle, he can't fly. In fact, just soar down to the plummets, because Big have now got consecutive rounds in a row, and that is the economy absolutely smashed to bits.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Of course it would, mate. 51 floors. Splat.
Long fall to make. EXX with the AWP will save. Double loss bonus, so this side, these will get only one round of rest before they have to bring out the guns again. Go off will be that big second round. 3 players save the T side as well. We'll note, of course, is we know how volatile this T side economy can be. One round you think it's game over, the next, you know, you've got stacks of cash, you can rebuy twice over. Round, a perfect example of it. 3 players survive, but everyone, you know, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 as they head into a round where they face Guild Eagles who are on pistols. Have it. There's the fall.
Be interesting seeing how Big adjusts to this as well, because it's been a few rounds in which middle has not really been contested, and you know if you're Tabson that is likely to come in. We've already faked A and warped B. The most obvious counter that Guild Eagles have in their wheelhouse are these quick pushes, are the flanks on the extremities. Saw how patient and diligent Big were holding in the previous. That is something that will come out yet again in another gun round. Mantu and Tabson holding for gap. Yet again, another player here, but it's the AKs. It's superior weaponry getting the job done.
Be surprised to see Synopsy try and exit with his teammates AWP. Not going to be the case as Crimbo in behind to try and snatch that away from them. Now the CZ, it's awkward. Damage but no frag. Tabson left at 10. Will be third on the board. Big side. Catching up to this Guild Eagles half. Got to understand already, I mean, look at it from a neutral POV, right? The blank canvas that we started painting on here on Vertigo. A very even map. You know, distribution between T and CT side is quite minimal. I'd argue here, Brandon, that, you know, if Guild Eagles can get away with one more, I'd call it success.
Absolutely. Also, just contextually as well, in this game, you've gone from 6-0. If you then give Big the momentum, if you let them win 6 rounds in a row, how much does that hurt your mentality? How much does that kind of hinder your belief in this game? Because with the terrifying highs from the extreme lows, Sin finds Rigon. Another opening kill here for Big. That's got to be, what, 4th, 5th round in a row that they found the first kill.
Know that Guild Eagles are a team that loves to play with momentum. You know, when it goes their way, they can't stop winning. But when it doesn't, you feel like the hump is a little longer than most. A frag this time from Mantu's AWP. And have already half sealed the fate for this round unless Synopsy, Scenario, or GXX can pull a rabbit out of a hat. Bubbled water up for this side. Rigon and Juan Flatro, higher scoring individuals, watch from the sidelines in this round, and this is where Big are really the big side we know and love. They take their time, they're poison. Big are one of these teams that once they get the smokes down, you know, it's hard for them to floor and execute.
Look at how much utility they've still got here as well. 35 seconds left, still 2 mollies, still a couple of smokes. Still don't need to commit in towards this bomb site, and Synopsy is going to make the decision even easier for them. Get out of there. Gone. You've got to lurk in towards mid. You've got full control of A. Out of process. Should just be locked in here, and Crimbo should be finding all of these kills with his lurk. And this is now 2 rounds in a row, by the way, that Crimbo's been able to walk up here uncontested.
Couple of rounds left in this first half. I don't think given much choice other than to just save here if you're Eagles over sack of the B site due to all the troops over. Happen for them to go for a retake and win it out, especially when no kit side. So with only a handful to spare here in this first half of our first map, Eagles have to forfeit another to try and enhance the odds in the future. Scales no longer tipping on a very heavy, more and more even game as Big start applying pressure here on their T side.
Yeah, Big have adjusted really well, especially in the mid round. These little plays that Guild Eagles were pulling out to try and catch them off guard, always being watched, always being captured in the back of the mind. Fantastic entry here. And this second one, the jump up on the sandbag. See you later, Juan Flatro.
Job from Big, making sure that they keep things competitive in the first half. On for an eye. Play from one flash, lobs in another. One Flatro's got to be careful, but the flashbang blinds everyone. Empties his magazine, but it all hits the yellow tarpaulin behind Prosus. Now Big can start making steps towards mini ramp. Try and develop the control towards site. A Molotov towards gap, well timed. But look at the HP bars. 4 of these players from Big now susceptible. One dink with that M4 is enough to kill off 80% of this squad.
Much better though. Oh! I was going to say from Guild Eagles, because they were holding on to their utility this time. They weren't just dumping it at every opportunity. Mantu overextends. And now the rest of the squad, they're going to swing. Look at Scenari up close. They are ready for it though. Process, they're so important on the bomb site. Even translates the spray on towards Synopsy. And now Regon, all he can do is watch on. He can't get involved in the fight because of the flames. 1 versus 4, but in all honesty, he probably just saves the rifle.
Well, right, Regon can't really afford to go for a round like this. Can't really afford to push the buttons of the big side. Game over for them. Beacon in from Regon. Looking keen for damage. Upgrade to an AK. Switches over. Knife out towards... Oh, it's timing. Tabson swings at a prime opportunity, and it will disrupt Guild Eagles' save. 5-6. 1 more round to spare here in this first half.
I'll tell you what, Mantu has been hitting some just phenomenal shots, like on the adjustment as well. Not ready for that boosted player, just flicks him like it's nothing. Everyone coming up with meaningful contributions in this one. So much money for Big, they can just drop all the AKs and the pistols on the floor and spawn. Double AWP even, Crimbo's on the secondary.
Interesting. Got the pennies, you might as well spend them. They don't transfer half to half, it's just round to round. Where things end. And Guild played that second half. Flatro was thinking about aggressing middle, but a smart decision by the X-ray not to. Opsy that could be life cost of over-aggressive play, and that will be the case. It's Crimbo's AWP here to hold and here to help. Big advantage secured, and then there's another AWP. There you have it. Mantu with a double, and it is looking pretty good here for Big to find themselves a 6th.
Yeah, this has been, I tell you what, a downfall in Guild Eagles and the way they set themselves up, because whatever they do early, whether it's a push B, whether it's a push in towards middle, every single mid-round opportunity when things don't really go their way or contact is felt, is that they will aggress down a ramp. They will try and take fights in that area. Big have noted this. Think about how many times they've been incredibly passive and they've waited for Guild Eagles just to walk into their crosshair. This round's a perfect highlight and a testament to that mid-round knowledge that Big have been providing. Still entirely doable, Minds. They will go for this. However, with Crimbo in the back lines, immediately decapitating Rigon, it's only a matter of time before this round gets locked in by Big. From 6-0, they fell to rebuilding themselves an equilibrium as the half ends out. We are all tied up.
Very nice. Build Eagles. Good pressure early, but it's Big, the more consistent team in the second part of our first half, that have leveled the scoreline entirely. So pistol means everything, Brandon. Which team is going to get ahead of the curve early doors here on Vertigo? Start fresh once more. Tabson. Ability, nade lobbed over to Mantu. 4 lots of Kevlar to go with it. Build Eagles, known for their aggression, buying 2 sets of utils. Scenari, Synopsy, buy 2 smokes, 2 flashbangs, and a Molotov between them. So I'm guessing this is just going to be a fully fledged A play with all the bells and whistles.
Oh, this is going to be a head-on collision up the ramp. There's flashbangs as well. Tabson's got those. Primed and ready. Over they go alongside the nades. That is just so detrimental to Guild Eagles. Here comes the swing from everyone on the server, and there are even trades. To be fair to Guild Eagles, they managed to work it back. A 2-on-2. Tabson's got no Kevlar because he had the utility.
Aquarium. Around that can swing both ways. Side long range USPs are going to be good. Prep them both as well. Flash. Oh, that's played towards later. Now, it's the Guild Eagles side with the plant, but it's also Guild Eagles side that lose the first man. GXX 1 versus 2 nails the shot onto Tabson. Where's Crimbo? He hits the steps but can't make the noise to go with it. The rumblings he heard from Spawn. Crimbo emerging through the smoke with his USP. Will be 7-6. Big get the first, but they won't get the best of Guild Eagles just yet because the buy on the up could be fun. I'm going to ignore that for now. Crimbo just trying to get in the heads. Guild Eagles side.
If this was a different FPS, God, that'd be significant backlash over that.
And
fair play from Crimbo though. The fact that he immediately rotates after being spotted on his lurk. After not finding anything, he immediately convenes with Tabson to make sure that they're both attacking from the same direction. I feel like Guild Eagles are a little bit flustered there as well from seeing the guy on the lurk. Then they spotted out Tabson. They still molly headshot anyway. I feel like it would have been better placed if they volleyed in towards heaven. Then Tabson wouldn't have been on that line, or at least as quick, which means that they would have had time to get out in towards gap, and the off-flank in a little bit sneakier. But nevertheless, it's well done from Big. I think there was even a collateral headshot in the mix from Tabson when he got the kill. It's put down. Hack turns into a tech. A 4-spy. B-side immediately. We've got Galils and AKs, and 1 smoke, 1 nade.
yeah, look, it's definitely very rifle heavy. You know, there's no downgrade SSD wise to try and make up for the kill. Everyone play confident, play aggressive, quite nicely. Build Eagles footprint. You always know them to be this aggressive, volatile, in-your-face team. Plenty of counter use. But I'm talking folks, mollies, nades, the whole lot. Eagles are going to struggle to try and make something pacey happen. Hopefully, not a big issue in terms of the technical pause. Given as likes on sides, wait for those to calm down and play on an even playing field. That's here for at the end of the day. If you can win the game as CS, there.
Got a comment on Juan Flatro as well. Was going 14-1, I believe, at one stage. Now 16-9. It's definitely cooled off, which is probably a big relief for the Germans. It's an area as well not having the best start as he would have hoped for on Vertigo, but there's still plenty of time to turn it around. I wonder what they do with this buy. I feel like the most obvious conclusion is just a rush somewhere. Got such limited utility, or they could apply pressure to try and draw out a piece of utility from Big to kind of make that an even playing field as well. I wouldn't mind mid to B here out of Guild Eagles. I feel like that is one of the things you can really get away with without too much utility. You could throw mid to B smoke, go over the top of construction sites, crunch B pretty decisively. The only thing that it hinges on is make sure you time it with the players that come up B stairs and they aren't singed by the molly.
Focus up though for Guild Eagles is to say, you know, with this limited utility, there is really only one choice that you can make. You know, make bomb site with just a smoke and an nade.
Good, but it probably wouldn't be
That all too.
great if we put the smoke down somewhere and you nade it and everyone's like running through the
Just
smoke.
sat behind it. Yeah, maybe. What the brains are cooking right. Oh right, like imagine maybe like a B play and they like smoke in front of white. You know what I'm talking about, like the cross. The default guy can't see how many players are coming up or whatever, and then you like blow the fuse open. Guys just standing out in the zone. There's a chance. Guys, right now, apparently no ETA on this one, Brandon. So podcast mode for us for a little.
That's fine.
Let's
talk about earlier, right? Sprout
okay.
G2.
Wow, what an intro. To be fair, I did see the Hooksy tweet after it, and he was like, "Guys, like the more maps means more practice." Let me get these.
That was kind of funny.
More rounds equals more practice. Also, we can conclude I need at least one kill for us to win. Understandable. Insightful from the IGL.
To be fair to him, he did actually recover that. Despite going 0-14 first map, he ended the game, what, -12? I mean, to be fair, that's not bad, considering what happened, right?
You know, I saw a tweet, I forget who from, so I apologise, I'm about to steal out and credit for it. But I did see the tweet, and I just checked, so I was mistaken. He was like, well, he dropped 0 kills in the first map and still out-frad Nexa. And, well, both of them got 3 Nexa, 1 less death. Quite funny, isn't it? Like, he's basically, like, out of the map completely. Basically only plays maps, and they recovers to -12, and still manages to deliver the same as Nexa. Your thoughts on the Nexa, Brandon? And Twitch chat as well. Let us know. Let's have a civil discussion here about the Nexa. I don't know if I'm a big fan of it, because I feel like JKS is like, there's big shoes to fill. I guess that's why they're playing these events, right? Like, you know, like tier-oriented tournaments where you can get the practice in lesser equipped opponents in an official environment. Then, you know, when it comes to the big stages, major cycle time in 6 months, then that's where it matters most, right?
It was definitely an unexpected change, not what they've made. But time will tell, and obviously the thing is, it's like we can, as casters, we can obviously watch the games and we can see what's going on. OG, we're not doing very well at all. That was Nexa without Nexa, because he personal lead. But to be fair to him, fair play for getting that too. I've been told in my ear, Ryan, that we need to kind of go to a little bit of a break screen. So we're going to do that. When we come back, hopefully all tech issues resolved and Big versus Guild Eagles can continue just after this.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. A little bit of a wait, Brandon, but no worries at all. We finally get things fixed and back underway. Any ISP fixing the issues? It's just not the same here in the UK. If I call my ISP, they are telling me to wait 30 business days for a response. So, Field Eagles,
true.
back in the action. On the T side, upward hill to be climbed, and we were talking for the all possibilities of this round and in what they want to do with one smoke and one HE. Mid-presence made. Bit of a gamble early towards B.
Yeah, Scenario's found the opening kill. Immediately, they're just going to accelerate. They know there's two players in towards middle, so the rotation's going to be a bit slower. And this is nice because now the B defense needs to be occupied and considered, but at the same time, you can still leave your lurk in towards mid. Bomb can now be planted, and Big want nothing to do with it. Round over. Scoreline, again, level.
There should be a save out of the remaining 4. No need to contest here. Other man down. Leg up here. Finances in terms of the better weaponry. Right away. All say Gilded appropriate response and obviously in the smoke. Spamming through it, making all the noise, but the entire T side no. Well, that smoke there and nobody shooting back. They are all going to be trapped up in towards ramp. Who's going to be like? Are we going to be looking at damage here? And obviously feels confident. You know, he's trying to assume an angle or two. Scenari also spamming away, just trying to pre-fire everything. A bit of an arm spotted, 1 kill in, traded, but his gun not retrieved. I guess just eye for an eye, and that's.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's fine as well for Guild Eagles. The fact that you one player in that altercation trade, it really is not the end of the world. In fact, Process is left wanting. Mantu has to drop him the MP9. Back live again, a slight delay. Mantu's actually gone for a D this one, so Arsenal not as well equipped as it could have been. For Big, immediate molly. Goes deep. Cool nade. About to be lined up in towards mid. Great nade. In fact, not seen that before. But I love it.
Dick. Stuck in. Good damage done to this T side. They know back in weaponry. Lost them elsewhere, and the damage early doors good. Not for 2. A little of Synopsy. Raid made as well, and well, Rigon poking more holes through this defense as it's Sin that is eliminated next. 4 against 3. And I want to call it a man advantage here, Brandon, but it's not much of one. Rigon 4 points of health, Sin, Patro both tagged up as well. It's GXX. Holds base. HP, only player to be that way.
Process getting a little bit inquisitive. Over the top of headshot, not once but twice. Good nade damage as well onto these players. As it all falls a little bit quiet. Good Eagles, they're going to reset. They're going to drop their utility A. A little bit of a lurk smoke, trying to keep Process in. Main hit is going to go towards B. 30 seconds left and Crimbo up close.
Great shot from Crimbo. Taking down one of the low HP players. There's still 2 more to go. Drops the smoke. There was one in front of him. But now has to be force for action. Deagle of Mantu trying to slide into the smoke and be a nuisance to this T side. GXX mounts the Mantu Deagle. But it's the Deagle that strikes twice. 8-7. Big ahead of the curve once again. This back and forth hurting both sides financially to an incredible degree. Guild Eagles will finally take a moment to breathe.
I want to talk about the mid round there. Because they wanted to pull as many rotates as possible. The fact that Process didn't get a kill, the fact that there were so many players trying to overwhelm ramp. They were hoping and praying there would be a rotate, but there wasn't. And look at this from Mantu. It's so sneaky, and it's so up close and personal. Gets the dig right against the throat of some of these Guild Eagle players, and they can't do anything about it just because the time is not on their side. Some players can buy, some can't, notably Rigon. Yeah, that's still not going to stop them. They're going to keep investing because they know the money is on a knife's edge just as much as it is for Big as it is for them.
3 AKs, to be fair, it's actually not far off the buy of Big. There is an AWP out on Mantu. Little blue, yellow bar at the top. firepower, if I'm not mistaken. So, big slight lead, but not by much. And it's out with some tricks of their own, then yeah, definitely a round to play for. Nade goes in. Fortunately, GXX plays catch.
So does Sin. Hello. Okay. Yeah. Was wondering when that was going to come in. Doesn't come as a consequence for Guild Eagles, but Crimbo, yet again, his holds on B have been sublime. A multi-kill gives just that little edge to Big to keep going for this. Mantu on the angle, and so much like he did in the previous series against Zero Tenacity, when it matters most, when it comes to these crunch situations, he is coming up huge with multi-kills. That's now back-to-back huge impactful rounds from the AWPer.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts round, back and forth business. Shot from Mansu clean, but the cleanup in general, so integral. Now Guild Eagles forced to eco. Investment can be made here, unfortunately. They know that this money is running quite dry for Big. No sense to take a breather here. Go for a buy in the next. These days, by the way, from Big have been second to none. It has been exceptional. See how well they've been getting on. Juan Flatro and his Deagle, a nice coupling. Finds ahead of Process, but a pretty straightforward round here for Big. Keep their distance.
Hi, Crimbo. Yeah, again, just walk down the ladder on timing. You expect 3 players A, maybe not a mid-lurk, but no, that's exactly where he strikes. And it just feels like Crimbo always has got this uncanny read of the game. He knows exactly what's going on. He's always in the right place at the right time. Sure, that one's just against pistols, but yeah, again, it's the pure contact. It's the nature of the fact that Big are really overcommitting on towards A. They are taking the fight. They are selling the ideas to Guild Eagles that it's a full frontal force and there isn't anything in the back lines. And it's the quickest flank, I think, in the map so far. Delivers a double. Double digits found, as a matter of fact. For the Germans, and Mantu yet again looking to strike early. Double nades don't do as much damage as they did on Juan Flatro in that first half, but instead he's the one trying to take the initiative, but he's been very vocal about the fact that he's here.
Yeah, but interesting enough, Mantu's fallen all the way off this angle. Juan Flatro, that is disgusting. Swinging and firing on all cylinders. Thompson caught out completely by the overpeak. 5v4. Now turn 4v3 as Synopsy with a late lunge in middle will find Crimbo off guard. 2 players tagged up as well for this big defense. Guild Eagles prime position strike.
And if you're Guild Eagles, you've got to reset. You just go B here because once again, you've got rid of a mid player. You know that then now Sin is going to be delegating his responsibility between here and the bomb site. And look at that. As soon as the contact comes in, sure, you know you've lost a player, but you've got space.
Gotta be careful because Sin's still about and he has dropped in. Rigon just trying to take the fight to him. Perfect time to peek out, caught with the smoke in his hands. It's all down to 2 remaining players of Mantu and Process. Nice first shot there. Well, I don't know to go for this round, but they seem interested in trying to take towards the site, which personally, I guess I'm neutral on. Can go both ways, but when Scenari's here to lock things down, absolutely no chance. 10 on the board for Big. 8 on the board for the Guild Eagles side as they strike again here on the T side.
That's the influence of Devil Walk. That's why he's been brought in for this Guild Eagles side. It's a lot of refinement in the mid-rounds and the decision-making. Because Juan Flatro, he does his job here, but it's this kill in towards mid that really turns the tides for Guild Eagles. The immediate reset. Space being taken. Sin not ready for how quick they've scaled up towards the stairs. Sure, you get the kill on the flank of GXX. It's 2 versus 2. It's winnable. That's what Big think. And Scenari finds a couple. 1 rifle in this round on Crimbo. That is it for the defense when it comes to heavy weaponry. Again, it's this B bomb site that Guild Eagles are preferring.
I don't mind it, to be fair. A lot of people say Vertigo's a site execute simulator. B is a viable option, and so do the Guild Eagles side. They want to fly towards this site and do the damage before things get a little out of control. Of course, a couple of saved guns. The MAC-10 leading the charge, as they know the majority of this squad will be on pistols. Point, you know, B is empty. Well, this MAC-10 hunting of those. He's away for $600. Bonus, of course, increased on those SMGs, so make the most sense for Synopsy to go hunting, but at the same time, no, they need to find comfort in survive alive. Probably the biggest priority.
Absolutely that. You don't want to see Guild Eagles throw everyone at this, because their economy is the priority at the end of the day. Sure, maybe some SMG kills well earned. That's one. That'll be it. Mantu's going to probably die to the bomb. Flatro, you don't need to go around this corner. You don't need to be taking that fight, and that's kind of the discipline I was talking about. You'd much rather just have 4 AKs here. Sure, you can reinvest, but imagine the bank balances, and you're setting yourself up for the future if one Flatro just doesn't round the corner.
Interestingly enough, Guild Eagles on the back of a win for a pause. Gravity of this scenario. Winning. Right back into conversation here on Vertigo, which, let's not forget, is the big pick of this BO3, right? We've still got Ancient, which is the Guild Eagles selection after this. German squad, your favourite?
That probably goes hand in hand with the fact they've been able to bounce back in the map alone, right? The fact that they've been able to so consistent, pistols traded. It's Mantu in middle. Incredibly bloodthirsty, hoping Guild players will go around the corner. Success has been found in mid a number of rounds. However, this time it is being held very passively by the Yorpa GXX. Nades go down yet again. It's a feature piece of Big. Their utility is always on point.
Straight out of the MP9, and it isn't just for one. Process here to make it 3. Gone from bad to worse here. Dive with a 2-man lead. Smoke towards Gap could not have been better timed as well. Left. Guild Eagles. Think going for this round is viable, Brandon? Do you think good bonus okay and so Honey. Yes, they want to take a fight. They want to bring it. This defense, but it's not going to be for the better.
Thing is, you're always going to feel trapped as well, because how many times has Crimbo pushed middle? How many times has he got down the ladder and been splitting you? So sometimes, in your mind, the only way is to go forward, to try and fight your way out of these corners, because the longer you yourself vulnerable to a backstab. Good idea with the molly in towards Gap, but ultimately it doesn't give away an audio cue. GXX is just cleaned up. The fact that Tabson gets close to a smoke there and continues the spray after he finds the first nets him. Second kill. For Big, finally their money. Now it's okay. We're at a breaking point on the other end. If Big win this, they are probably setting themselves up to win the map.
Holding out with the AWP. Knows that if he stays on the angle for long enough, eventually someone was going to walk into it. Kill means Rigon sidelined again. Early doors here on Vertigo. But a must-win round for Eagles as well. This is basically their life. Vertigo on the line. Process has to take a fight, and interesting enough, absent, oblivious to the fact that someone prepped crosshairs. Nice shot from Synopsy. Now Process just stuck. Has to take a fight somewhere. It'll be GXX that bails them out. Or he finds one. Flatro, though. 3v3. Smoke goes up towards the elevator. And round very much on for the Guild Eagles side.
Retake will be attempted, of course. Nade on the plant. find a lick of damage. Molly set up for sandbags, retake smoke in as well. That really signifies intent from Big, and with Sin finding that kill. Oh, and a second. Sin's doing everything. More than enough time to get on this bomb. There are kits available. There's a smoke that can be put down on it. GXX starts to get uncomfortable with the spray. Not quite connecting. Then there's a second player in reserve that can jump up right behind Mantu. And now Big can just jump on the bomb and lock themselves in map point.
Guild Eagles need to go 3 in a row here to stay alive on Vertigo. Such a promising start as well, Brandon. Think back to sort of the first 7-8 rounds of the CS that we saw on our screens. Eagles looks penetrable. I think, what, 6-0, right? Is how Vertigo started?
Yep, 6-0 to 6-6.
Shame. Real shame. It's now Big that find themselves ahead of the curve, though. They only need the 1 map point. Round 22. Flash thrown at Mantu, but it does land behind him. Mirage has a look. There he shoots the cone. It falls down deep. Wow, Big. I show what's up towards ramp. Well placed nade from Tapson.
As always. And our process is playing out towards 51. He finds an opening kill. He's a bit stuck because of that molly, which means Tapson has to go in, try to bail out his teammate. Smoke drop just on the ramp, making things even more uncomfy, and then you can layer up the nades behind it. It's classic Big, it's trademark, and it's even more damage being inflicted to these players. Guild are trapped.
See all this spam going through the smokes as well. They just want to see if they can do the damage. Job done. And oh, that is bad timing. Now sees the player, drops the incendiary. Scenario forced to back away. Can't go running through, so mad advantage and even further information at the attempt towards the A site. 50 seconds left. Eagles, they've got time to work with and bodies to find, but it's Process that goes flying around the corner. Taps him with a trade, Mantu with another, and now a rig on 1v4 to keep them in the contest. Unfortunately, he's not going to be good enough to close the show, and it is Big with map 1.
Yeah, well played there from Big. The fact that Tabson can drop the smoke and he goes, okay, nobody is progressing here. We can just drop nades behind it. And yet again, because of the conditioning that's been set in towards middle, the fact that Guild Eagles didn't have anyone there to start with just means they can't really fall on a backup plan because they have got no information. The only space they've got is in towards that A ramp. That's why they commit. That's why they try and go for these fights. And finding Process, I think, kind of unlocks their minds that they can definitely do it. But immediate expectations come out from the CT side. It was really well done. The fact they're able to bounce back, the fact that they've got really good mid-round decision-making in there, it's just too much for Guild.
Now they're going to have to respond on a pick that we didn't see coming. It's Ancient up next, hoping that the Guild Eagles have done their homework. They've got an uphill battle ahead of them. Big 1-0 up and a map away from pushing to upper bracket round 3. Let's see if they can push this Guild Eagles side to the lowers. Right.
Are you sick of just opening cases? Join the events! At each event, you can find special cases from which tokens fall. Tokens are your ticket into a world of unique awards. For tokens, you can buy a skin, premium, or special balance. Try your luck in the skin generator. Also, you can leave your tokens at the token vault. And the more tokens you keep, the better skin you'll get. Add variety to opening cases with Hellcase.
Want to win AK-47 Legion of Anubis, M4A1S Decimator, or AWP Atheris? Your time has come. Analyze and vote for the tournament outcomes. Earn points, and with dub skins from BO3GG. Don't hesitate. Vote on BO3.GG and claim your award.
Yo, what are you doing?
Divot.
What do you think? I'm a paperclip? Mr. X to the Z. You need to quit browsing like a lame and get Opera GX. Because with GX mods, you can pimp your motherfucking browser. All you gotta do is click here, select the mod, and boom! New look, new sounds, new everything. It's not easy being a legend. Oh, shit. Not again. Change the mod now. Download Opera GX.
After an interesting map 1 and a very topsy-turvy time for the Guild Eagles, they now have to face their pick of the BO3, but one that I think nobody here or at home would have expected. It's Ancient, our second.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, to be honest, because I'm not really too sure how Guild Eagles are going to do on it, especially having the highs of kind of being up 6-0, and then they kind of got picked apart by Big, especially when it came down to those mid decision making, especially in that second half. But they've won back-to-back games on their maps against Ecstatic and Godsend on Ancient, but they've had losses to Preezy, Space, Alternate Attacks. And the most surprising one for me, Gucci Academy. They lost there as well, and that was, what, 13-8? Well, only a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know what to expect, really, but what I do know is one Flatcher was playing really well. He also had good impact, I think, from GXX when he had the... But he's going to need to rely on that a lot more, and I feel like the team are going to need to try and put the sniper in his hand as soon as possible. But we are live, Ryan. Let's get straight into Ancient.
Here we are then, Brandon, the pick of the Guild Eagles, one that was unexpected. Quite a shock to our eyes and our systems. Here we have it. The show must go on, and it is time to play some CS. I think already a map up, could be looking to set the record straight and take it 2-0. Of course, side selection goes the way of Big, so they start on the CCT side of things.
Going 8 early. Sin does have a smoke and a kit, so call out to his team. Okay, smokes are in donuts. Smokes gone in towards main. In fact, they're not smokes at all. They are decoys. And now, Guild Eagles want to take space back in towards middle, but they go straight into the crosshair of Tabson.
Nice job, Tabson with a double as well. It's gone from bad to worse. Finally gets cleared out by Synopsy. But it is an instantaneous trade from Process and a solid start from Big. Bowing down any Guild Eagles attempt towards mid and towards A.
I actually really like that idea, though, from... Because what they've done there is they've faked that they're throwing nades by spending $100. You can hear the bounces if you're Sin. You're like, okay, well, they're smoking things off, maybe, but no one's coming out A main. And that's the biggest issue. It's the fact that he had that deep sight line in towards Temple, which means the mid players can remain in mid. There's also quick rotates from Big because they had the 3 players there early. And this time we're going to see just a straight-up commitment towards the gate bomb site. No utility, no weaponry, really, of note, apart from Synopsy with this Deeg.
Wander in towards A. That's the best be prepared from Man 2. Lots of damage. He'll score highly here, no questions asked. Pulls out the knife mid-engagement. That's always fun to see. And there you have it, Big. Easy second on the board, putting pen to paper in the most easy way possible. Only losing the 1 SMG, but providing a lot of money into the AWP's pockets. Can't buy one heading into round 3, though, so probably facing the music of an M4. Unless if he wants to half armor it, which for mine does.
You'd be forgiven for thinking he wouldn't because of how much Big prioritizes that utility. That's fun. Look, Flashbang lands vertically up.
There's
As well in the corner.
Bottle flip, but CS edition. I like this, Brandon. Molly immediately, Synopsy to take face, and, well, Tabson gets a freebie. I've got to say, I don't think Crimbo was expecting that peak, but the fact that he just jumps knife out means the crosshair averted.
And fair play for Tabson for actually just taking the swing. However, on B, Rigon's found the opener. They know that Sin is here. Tabson's also been dealt with. Bomb site completely cracked open. That molly's not ideal, but it doesn't matter too much. Man2 Crimbo saving Guild Eagles with a fast response.
I like it. Man2 gets to keep his AWP. Everyone with those M4 still as well. Got out of Man2, one on the exit. Just trying to humble that side, I guess, as best as they can. Money as close as they can to one another. Good start. Roll in before. Interesting decision to be made by Big here because the loss bonus isn't going to cover M4 armor util on everyone. So, like, we're going to see a few SMGs out.
Yeah, Crimbo can drop. What I will say is very nice out of Guild Eagles there, because even though they lost the player in towards middle, they realised then their options available to them at that moment, where a player is going to be coming in trying to hunt them. Probably cave, probably shelf. So they drop a lot of utility over towards that area, and it prevents Big from being able to swing. It prevents Big from being able to really move too much and know what's up. And then they immediately direct their attention towards the B bomb site, isolating that one kill, and it gives them just so much space So really good little instant reaction despite losing the opening kill.
Assembled, Mantu wants to have a little slide over, Seawolves towards ramp, Process moving with him to allow maximum maneuverability, and the top half of the boost prevails. The bottom half needs to be careful. Mantu strikes twice with his AWP, make it 3. One more shot left in the chamber. The AWP needs to reload. I thought that was Mantu through the smoke then, but it's Process that walks through it, and it's all on Synopsy. 1 versus 4. Bearing in mind I said this was going to be a force blind, some of these players would have to take lesser utility. There was just pistols. Maybe one rogue investment, that one M4, and the saved AWP as well. And it's all over. Mantu makes it 4. Big, make it 3.
Just working with what they've got. Let's put Mantu in the most powerful position. Let's keep him elevated. And the fact that the bottom half of the boost falls, it's only the pistol. It doesn't matter too much. And then Mantu just has free reign. And that's what he can do. That's what happens when you get him fired up. 8-2. And what a round for Big to be winning as well, because lack of bomb plant that's come in the first opening 4 rounds means that despite winning, they're immediately reset here, Guild.
Placing that molly in middle. Not to mention smoke left side on Cave. Mantu opener. It's Sineri that gets a trade-off. Sin. M4, elevated angle. Juan Flatro's going to go running on through. The M4 most notably drops down, so he's going to have to drop into the jaws of Crimbo. That's exactly where the round ends. 4 on the board for Big. Of course, it was just pistols for Guild Eagles. Now they get to bring out those rifles.
These rounds have been so quick as well, by the way. Like, Guild Eagles are setting the pace in a lot of them, and they've just been completely countered by the fact that Big are more than happy to play in this environment. Normally the pace is a little bit scary, but Sid, more than happy just to run through smokes, take fights, take engagement. Mantu on angles, he'll hit these shots all day long over towards A main, especially on pistols. But have a look at this. This is the last thing you're expecting. Just a player just to run through, especially when there's one out on shelf trying to hold for that.
Another round, and another chance for Guild Eagles to prevent this big success story from developing into something bigger. Well placed scenario at half health. One Flatro down to 83. Are still adamant that they want this mid presence. Still adamant. Try and maybe lay a plan towards B. You can see there's an A lurk. There's one player in elbow. But right now the focus really is towards ramp and cave.
Depends on this time and this jiggle. It has been spotted. Sin doesn't take a lick of damage, but that does get the smoke out from him. He's forced to deploy it. Now they've got no intel. Big. None down in towards B ramp. Nothing in towards middle, apart from Mantu. But he now has to split his attention between the upper and the lower side of mid. Great flashbang. Doesn't shoot on time, and instead he remains quiet. He wants the AWP to be unknown.
Oh, great shot out of Synopsy. Sineri hits another as well. E down to just 1, and it's the M4A4 of Sin. Smokeless man as well, as he had to burn his earlier on. Needs to find a bit of success, and to be fair to him, kill and then attack through the smoke gives him prime opportunity to deliver. Nade goes out. Mantu's found another. Surely not going to be a 3v5 loss here for Guild Eagles. Synopsy drops the smoke for the cross, and Incendiary to try and block off the plant, and Nade as well, where GXX will put out with the smoke. The plant to come in. Mantu shoots between the legs of his counterpart, and GXX responds in kind through the smoke, pierces the heart of Mantu, and now Crimbo in the clutch. Both players blinded by the flash, and isolated fights could result in devastation. Got to be careful, and Crimbo alert that there could be something flanking or from behind. Problem is, the more time he spends looking about, the less time he has to win a round. Here's GXX jumping back towards well for a tag, but no frag with it. That should just mean a save here for the German rifler.
He wants to take the AWP with him. And he will. I don't think he will survive if he wants to take the AWP, so instead he's just going to run out. Can he run back and grab it? Bomb blows it away. Where is this AWP? Can't find it for Crimbo, but at least he denies the GXX. And he knows that the money is still not quite here. The Guild Eagles. Yeah, they can reinvest back in, but they won't have this sniper. Mantu can repurchase his.
As you say, it's a bigger tank for the Guild Eagles side. Even though they win a round, they lose the most important gun, it feels like. Still up by a couple as well. Big, very similar situation to last, where if they win this round, that economy cancels out for the T side once again. Aids deployed early. No molly to go with it here for the TT side. Instead, it's a smoke thrown out by Synopsy and a shot that lands straight through it. Crimbo at least there to respond with one of his own.
And a lot of variation here where Mantu and Crimbo both start. Crimbo this time deployed as the second player in towards middle. MP9 trying to get involved, but it's Rigon on the bomb site yet again delivering. Mantu's rotated over, and to be fair to him, will hit a banger. But there are players coming out long. There's players in towards cave. He has to try and navigate all of this and dodge all of the utility. It feels unwinnable. But with Crimbo on this flank, anything is possible.
Well, just toe-to-toe in the smoke. Crimbo finds the opener. Mantu still oblivious to the fact that there could be a player in front of him. Hold on, I can't move. Oh, that's why, because there's a player in the smoke with me. Now Crimbo left in the clutch. Being on low HP, attempt here would feel silly. So getting away with the next best weapon, it's an AK. Hands of Crimbo. A run far, far away from this B bomb site. Safe call. What's going to be made for Rigon on Scenario? If they can get away with their guns, that's a profit investment as well. Old Eagles, a chance to get back into things and take it well.
They're really targeting Process on this bomb site. They're causing a lot of chaos. They're trying to bring Sin into these fights a lot towards the entranceway of Cave. Then his rotation onto the bomb site is very limited and he gets trapped. Yet again, it's Rigon finding this opener. It's now 2 or 3 rounds in which Guild Eagles have been successful on the B bomb site, and it comes with killing the player on the bomb site itself rather than Cave. They're leaving him in there, round on round, just really restricting options.
Go. Faster piece from Crimbo in his AK, the only safe gun. Wanting to get aggressive, but Guild Eagles with some aggression of their own. Tabson, you hear a whole lot of noise towards him. Dink doubled, in fact, with that USP. Should get traded out. Rigon. But that USP has just done 180 points of health worth of damage.
Yeah, that's a lot. They can go for this.
Well.
Big nade. No, they're all ahead of it. Doesn't really do too much, and Sin has found Scenari. And Rigon's still walking wounded. Everyone in from Donut. The issue you've got is that there is one kit, but that is on Crimbo. There's no smoke to block the choke points. JXX on the angle. Another dink. This is looking really uncomfy. Rigon in this angle should be locking things off if Crimbo is killing everyone, but no way this happens. Crimbo can just stick the bomb now. GXX stuck in a really uncomfy position. He needs to swing. He needs to do it, but no. Big stick hit. And how does that happen? It's one AK, but it's the USPs that do all the heavy lifting.
Look, I know Sin gets a double there, and I know the stick and the kit is just so valuable, but you've got to give a medal to Tabson there, man. How unreal is that? Gets a double ding on the first guy. Tags Rigon down to, I think, what, 18 points of health? Something ridiculous like that. Only with the USP, a free weapon in the game. You get it default every round. He makes it look as scary as could be, and Guild Eagles... Oh, look, Big have just built their 2-round cushion back up. We've got to take attack pause to discuss because we can't fall into the same trap that we did on the T side of Vertigo, where it was Big that was 6 rounds down, still ended the half level.
The course of pause comes out because that's a frustrating one. That is a round you should never be losing. And that is now 2 rounds in which we've had lesser weaponry. We've had one AWP out of Mantu that has won a round single-handedly. This round is all on USPs, and the pistol work and the craftsmanship was spectacular. But let's be honest, that is a 1 in a million round that shouldn't be happening, and the fact it's happened twice in one game is a little bit concerning.
Lloyd blocking the vision of Synopsy, relaying that to his team that someone could be even facing. Very keen to sit in the smoke, and the only reason why he does this is because if the elbow push gets compromised, then he can run right through and trade. Then is going to be none the wiser to this, but a bundle of footsteps heard in middle.
This is the sacrifice that Big have gone for. They've actually just left middle open to reinforce B with the AWP. Mantu comes and starts early, but there's big gaps. There's big pockets of space that can be acquired, which is why we've got this extremity push. Ancient becoming a little bit like Mirage. Crimbo, Tabson on the angle, but Rigon best one, but not the other.
4v4, and they've given up a lot of space towards A. Tabson, cautious of what's in front of him. He knows Donut could be a liability. Peeks on in, and he'll win the fight. There you go, Tabson. Renowned to have a high IQ in Counter-Strike, and even reading the most insane of plays. Synopsy dropped, Mantu Zorb finding a second on the site as well. GXX against 3. There you have it. Sin closes the show, big up to 6.
Yeah, that's the benefit of having 2 players push A main and Tabson finding a double kill. The second one on Donut is the most impactful in the round because yet again, Guild Eagles lose all of their space that they had in towards Donut, and suddenly the only space you've got is in towards this B ramp, and it forces them into the triple threat of Process, Sin, and Mantu.
Oh, wow. Brilliant display from Mantu in his orb yet again, by the way. 14 and 6 is what I was shocked about. He's seen 10 rounds of CS, and he is delivering massively. Crimbo this time, though, making sure the Glocks don't become too effective. Process 7 punishment as well down. Ramp 7-3. Let's say, with 10 rounds in, Mantu, you know, 14 and 6. Brilliant game.
Crimbo, 10 and 1. He's died once, and that came in the last round. All the guns were there for give. Something's got to give, something's got to change, and wouldn't mind a redirection in towards A in the mid to late round here for this T side. You've shown you can take middle, you've shown you can take shelf. If you add and incorporate that in and just keep these players on the B bomb side because they are still worried about it, maybe you can find something. Instead, it's a fake with speed. Synopsy is all the way up A. Yet again, the communication is, well, they're not actually out here. You can just keep these players rooted.
Oh,
nice
wow.
shot. Out of one flat throw. And yet again, Process is isolated. And the B bomb site belongs to Guild Eagles.
From Rigon to get another as well. Expecting a flank GXX best out of Sin. Tabson and Mantu, I think at this point, will realise they've got to go from offensive to defensive. They've got to save these weapons, and unfortunately, Tabson, too committed to the cause, get removed. And that is Guild Eagles, I should say. The GNE puts me off.
Yeah,
Guild
same,
Eagles.
Same.
Up to a 4th.
You'll be forgiven, mate. I do it all the time. Why is the N there?
They were BNE before, now
Yeah.
it's GNE. Reference, I don't know.
New Guild
Guild New Eagles.
New org. Same team. Really benefit from a 5th round here. This was cool. Just the change of direction did happen way faster than I thought it would, but it still pays off. And it's this constant threat of one flat throw or Rigon hitting this shot on towards Process, and suddenly the defense is all at sea.
Oh, that is an interesting mid-smoke, because that has missed. Pretty sure that there's going to be a gap in that, not to mention Crimbo and his AWP at A, baited in. Another piece of util drop, but Synopsy caught on the cross. It's Crimbo and his big green that open up the scoring. Now, the main brunt of the push was here towards middle. Tabson tucks towards Donut. Rest of the squad not happy with heading A. They want to head B, and Mantu able to pluck off another.
Good smoke here by Sin, really well timed. And just dances in the doorway to make sure he doesn't get penalised by the spray coming back the other way. As soon as that contact is felt, yet again it's big with utility. Chipping down one flat throw further. 1 minute left on the clock, and now you get this push. Look at Crimbo, actually upgraded himself, or downgraded, however you look at it, from AWP to AK, but what that does is increase his mobility. And now he says to his team, I see absolutely nothing. And now Sin's feeling all the pressure coming through Cave. It ends B, but bigger here.
Nice shot out of Mantu, but it's got to be a little bit more because this defense lacking numbers right now. Fires again. It will repeat for a 3rd. Quad kill on the line, not going to happen. GXX Here for a double. Process sidelining well as Man2. Oh, a more winnable scenario out of this. Problem is, there's two players from two different directions. GXX picks up trusted Big Green.
Oh, wow.
There's a player on ramp, and one has slipped the net on short. GXX no clue about this one. As soon as he moves into sight to try and plant, both players will swing off one another. And 8 is what Big get here on the CT side.
Really well deserved as well. Got to give it to Guild Eagles. They definitely had a game plan coming into this first half, but it just gets undone by Big being so dynamic and so fluid. It's just the mid-round reactions, the push for information, constantly gathering clues and making sure you're set up. And more importantly, that man is on the angles. The first half ends, Man2 with 19 kills in it. You know how wild that is, by the way? The fact that HLTV Fantasy have changed their booster from the carry. Was 25 kills in one map, now down to 20. Man2 basically achieves that in one half of CS2.
Go. E-Dog coming out with the fantasy stats.
Don't ask me about fantasy though, because I suck at it.
That's fine, man. You've got to give it a go, right? I do for the majors, but that's the only time I do them. Admit I'm not the biggest like lover, so I'll leave that. Speaking of, Big want to try and drive it towards B, but unfortunately, choppy waters in middle means they have to turn their eyes, and 3 kills. Big, no response just yet. Synopsy, Juan Flatro, Rigon, all in the feed.
Go away, mate. They're running at you. You can hear this. You're going to get trapped. You're going to get completely isolated if you're not careful. Tabson round the corner. They are going to clear this for sure. Tabson. Oh, okay. Gets blindsided, does Rigon, but immediate trades and now screaming out. There are multiple players hunting him down. He wins that foot race to the A bomb site instead. Wants to play it a little bit 5-head, but comes back to bite him. It's the grit, it's the determination, and it's the dual Berettas of the Guild Eagles that earn them the pistol.
Their ticket back into this game, right? They'd need the pistol to keep confidence and keep Guild Eagles with a fighting chance was going to be my point. The end, man, it is all too persuasive to just reel it off. Speaking of, that SMG of Juan Flatro is mighty aggressive. The HE as well, he adds to the damage early doors. Man2's dead. Oh, he isn't. The hinge saves him.
However, these MP9s should farm up, and they do exactly that. Crimbo with 1, but that is it. That is the only casualty in the round. MP9s make money. Suddenly, MP9s can also become M4s for utility and AWPs for GXX.
Round 15. Three MP9s, 1 AWP, 1 M4. Big looking to drive the knife through the Guild Eagles' heart with Tech 9's P250 and a Deagle. The most standard of half buys here, but knowing that they've got a lot of utility, Brandon, is prime time to create some distractions. And because Guild Eagles stack so heavily towards mid, his B defense slightly weaker than usual, and that's where Tabson could strike twice. He smoked towards spawn. He'll be screaming at his team. Take long. Take the presence. We've killed the defense. I can flash you in. And we have all this space to ourselves. Mind games between Process and Rigon. But all the time the eyes are occupied on spawn. It's less time taken towards sight. Rigon so tagged up as well. The AWP and the M4 realistically should be saving here. I think this has got to be called off for Guild Eagles.
Yeah, they've got to call it off, surely. But Rigon has got 2 players here, so he can say, hey, look, I've got 2 here, guys. You can try and give it a go. Synopsy might even just try and stick the bomb. He's got a kit. You give it a go. Looks at the floor.
Oh, no. Hello? Okay.
No, he gets off it.
Thank God for that, hey.
Nice try, though, to be fair to him. Like, that is the only thing he could have done in that situation. And 1 or 2 seconds on the delay, because Rigon did all the hard work, because Big were hunting. That nearly cost Big, but it doesn't. Instead, it's a taste of their own medicine for Guild Eagles as the B bomb site is compromised.
A double from Tabson meant everything. 2 guns on site laying around like that. I know, albeit SMGs. Feel good about yourself. And as you can see, Sin, a little bit of urgency about that frag, because they knew that if he had a kit and the 5-second stick, no way you couldn't roll the dice.
It's read.
Sick. So weird from illegals to do, but it's going to work out brilliantly.
Remember, Big don't need to commit into this bomb site, though. But the bomb drop makes things a little bit more complicated. The reason why I say that is because Crimbo's walking up B ramp, but all the kills are going in favour of this CT side. Mantu can't hit his shot, but will at the second time of asking. Bomb gets scooped up, and now it's a foot race, because look at Crimbo, he's got all the sight.
Oh, I don't know if you're going to expect this if you're Guild Eagles. I mean, if he's going to go for a rotate, then you expect him to have something. You'd expect him to be all in or all out, not this weird swanky CT hole. But then again, no matter if you're Guild Eagles, because he isn't going to be the retake position. It's going to be through middle. Samson gives it a little jiggle, sees nothing. Smart, he is. He'll plant in the open, and that's exactly where he goes for. The semicircle. Addition to the B site that was made quite recent after the out of the map. Very important, because now it's eyes to cave, short, and to spawn. Going to leave this Guild Eagles side guessing. All players leaning towards middle, but it's going to be 1 through CT and 2 through ramp. Crimbo, again, just holding this angle. Hasn't moved an inch this whole time, but he fluffs his lines. 1v3 for Tabson. Hits the first. Molly blocks off the presence of Tabson, who will get a second. But the Flames there to stop one. Flatro kitless. He knew he had to hold. He has just about the time to make it happen. Guild Eagles up to 7.
Expensive, though. Very expensive for both parties. The fact that Tabson gets 2 kills with the MP9 means that he can drop Mantu the AWP. No problem. Instead, redistributes wealth with AKs. So everyone is now rocking full belts of utility. I feel like it was a bit of an overextension there for the bomb to go in at A, because that makes things way more complicated for Big, but I guess in some areas it does sell the idea that they're definitely going.
I think for me, Brandon, I don't think the original idea was for them to NB. You know, you wouldn't start 4A for them to NB, right? So I guess the bomb committing there was just a sign of confidence and a vote of action. But yeah, you are right. When, you know, the B presence was made, the call probably should have been made a little safer. Flash to go through here. Sin wants to take the fight. Mantu on the other side, so tied up in cave right now, especially when Mantu can deliver with a double. AK just shattering the double cave hold. Rotate has to come in from GXX. It's thick and fast, and it could be nothing less than successful, because the round served on a silver platter right now for Big. A nice shot out of GXX makes it 2, but a trade from Mantu means still a leg up for the T side. Flash goes high. Rigon wants to fight. Mantu showing some shoulder, but it's the cross of the bomb that needs to be careful. But that's where Rigon can jump in, but Mantu with an equally good response.
But now they don't know where Synopsy is, and Mantu is incredibly low.
Like that.
Hoping for a gun. Got
yeah,
one.
He chucks the AK away, by the way, from the bomb site, so it's actually not heard by the T side. You can see, still trying to guess where Synopsy's coming from.
Still so doable. Process about to be backstabbed here, but Mantu's holding. That's Mantu's ace as well. But I've got to give a lot of credit to Sin, because it's a small micro play. He's very vocal about the fact that he is crossing through that cave smoke. Never expecting someone just to be sitting there lying in wait, but Mantu was. And he wasn't satisfied with the fact he got those 2 openers. He takes the whole lot. An ace. Something that Big desperately needed in the round. A moment of magic, and it comes from their AWP on the AK.
Then get to take a fight in cave, but Rigon equally so. Oh, you need to check the corner. Sin. Ouch. One Flatro donated an AK. Good cause as well, because he was the man that really stepped up for Guild Eagles on Vertigo. Need to see something similar from him here in this second half. All full silent right now for Big. I guess calculating their next move. Rigon delivering more damage with the Deagle, not in the form of a frag, but it's a tag information.
Oh, Synopsy swings as well. Oh, that would be well handled, except Process gets the kill, and now Crimbo's just up B. Process with another, but it's one Flatcher at the back of the bomb site with the AK that drops the bomb and makes matters incredibly complicated here for Process. He tucks in the corner. It will be a save. Big, get eco'd.
Eye for an eye, mate. That's what Guild Eagles say now. You did it to us with Tech 9s on B. We'll do it right back with Deagles across the board. Fantastic job. Now we wait a very awkward 30 seconds for Process to keep his AK. New round to start.
Got to be said though, think about just the early. Both of those kills were given to CT side, silver platter. Very individual efforts from Big. Suddenly that just makes things poor. To be fair, that shot from Rigon was disgusting.
Yeah.
But the one from Sin and Cave, he should have checked all of his angles. Swan Flatro is given the AK, and then he's given his team the round win. Tactical pause comes out, 30 more seconds to think about things for Big.
Yeah, and quite a critical point in this map as well, right? Because you look at their money, single loss bonus. So if you want to take the force buy here with the saved AK, it would make the most sense for your finances. Then that's 9-10. Then full buy at 10 all. Or your eco at 10 all, I should say. Don't go correctly. But then again, oh, it's side. Can we get away with scraping together an eco, maybe taps it on a Galil, but everyone else will buy? I think the most important point to make is Mantu. AWP, not even just his AWP, his presence alone has been unbelievable here in this second map. 25 and 12. Talk about a step up.
Thing is for Big, it's you always buy in here anyway because you're on first stage loss bonus. You also know that the money is just not very good. And this is mind gaming. This is, oh, you've had 30 seconds to talk about things on top of the fact that Process was saving for a good 45 seconds. You want to play CS? We do too. 30 seconds, guys.
You know, at the end of that, like, everyone's going to be like, yeah, let's go, guys. That's why they do it, right? Everyone
Yeah, exactly.
at home, take notes. You know, the end of that big speech would have been like, okay, we got this, guys. Let's go. Voice words thrown in there. And then Gilligan's like, no, you can wait a second. You can sit on that hype just for a moment. You know, let it die down a little bit. Let us be ready for this round. Number 19. Big 2 to the good, but a force buy here could cost them the entire lead.
Also curious where they take this. B has been the obvious success story. A has been not great for this T side. So it makes sense. The bomb's over here and also quite a little bit of utility as well. Big nades, but actually bounces. Oh, a little bit awkwardly. Process goes through. Flashbang, one Flatcher can't see a thing. They're kissing in the smoke, but Process deals out the killing blow. Mantu follows up on the immediate trade, and well, for Guild Eagles, they're still going to give it a go because Rigo's found 2 kills. Crimbo full blind, now swaps to the AK and delivers out a headshot and clothesline Synopsy and Guild Eagles.
They'd say that was a needed round if they wanted to keep their lead, and that is, as you say, what you feel like is the kiss of death for Guild Eagles here in this upper bracket. Gonna have to do it on pistols again and Big this time. Mind games or not, we'll take another 30 seconds. We will let you simmer on the fact that you've just thrown that chance away. 2 AKs, a Galil, no doubt about it. 2 more can be bought. Wondering if we could squeak together enough for a man to walk, but I think at this point the rifles are showing trumps over anything else. Big now stare down the barrel of a 2-0 win.
Full credit to Process there for finding that opening kill. Feels like you could see a pixel, a head top. The MP9 player capitates him with follow-up onto one Flatro through that smoke. Low kills, but it's the quality of them that have really got to be credited. We'll see it again on the replay here. Like, that is just disgusting.
Fantastic job. Recon in. Juan Flatro confident in the CZ, but Process laying down the law with the AK. Molotov doing damage to the GXX, dislodging him on site, forcing to take fights on ramp. Smoke goes up towards short. It's actually caught by the incendiary, but it still does the job. Get these players out on site. Now a molly at the feet of Rigon. Has to try and fight in the flames. To be fair, hit one, but against five was never going to be destined for victory. Map and series point big here on Ancient.
And no gun rounds for Guild Eagles. Last 3 rounds of play here, potentially. Yet again, it's going to be a similar feeling of this buy in a second with just the Eagles with CZs, 5.7s. Big able to break the money. P9 comes out for Synopsy, but you imagine that is going to be premium of weaponry here for this CT side. Final stand, potentially. And if they pass this hurdle, they need to do it 3 times over.
Round 21. Could just be the last. Guild Eagles going to give it another go on whatever they can scramble together. 2 CZs, 157, 1 Deagle. The only man that doesn't hold a pistol, it's Synopsy on the MP9. And from his POV, going to run right down middle, try and take a fight towards B. Yeah, that is a lot of space offered up by big early doors.
But, oh. I was gonna say, you've got Sin on the edge here. Process hits the deck, and he's been that guy that's been finding all these entries big and just going to smash it up B instead as a response. But the flashbangs, they're good from Scenari, but not good enough. Crimbo, hang on a second, gets one, but look at the backstab. But then look at the backstab again. Sin finds both. Tabson comes in with another. It's just Rigon, but Sin is 1 HP and dealt with.
Tabson, can he do it against Rigon? An electrifying rifleman against a veteran to the scene. It's a ding through the wall. And it's Rigon at 34 points of health. But you never count Rigon out of a scenario like that. 9-12. Guild Eagles given hope.
What a shot. That is just trademark Guild Eagles, isn't it? The immediate reaction. They've got nothing to lose, so they just push the ramp. And it's flanks upon flanks. But ultimately, Diamonds have forged the best under pressure, and Rigon shimmers brightly in round 22 of Ancient. The Guild Eagles can still do it. It is their map pick. They've got a stake and a claim in this. But they need to force OT at a bare minimum.
Round 22. And they make it double digits. Can they start thinking about OT? Can they start delivering on the bigger stages? Rigon yet again. Opening kill, first frag, and a second Synopsy. And Scenari, in fact, is blind. Oh my god, he didn't kill him! He didn't kill him! I thought he was dead too! GXX gets the trade through the smoke. Still all up in the air, and it's still all to play for. Double molly couldn't have been timed perfectly more. GXX cuts off from his teammate, and Synopsy can't fight from spawn. Means everyone has to wait a few seconds longer. Big can get in a position to play from the post. He comes out. Smokes. Give them cover. Give them hope. Give them a chance. Synopsy, 10-second stick. The spam isn't good enough. Mantu needs to go pushing through until Sin nails the shot and does it again. Game over. Unfortunately, Guild Eagles to the lower bracket put up one hell of a fight on both maps. Showing real signs that they could be something to mess with here in this tier 1 scene, but it's not going to be today. It is Big, number 15 in the world, get the better of them, and a 2k from Sin to show us how it's done to close out. Brandon, honestly, I know it's 2-0, but you can't help but feel somewhat proud of the Guild Eagles side, because as I say, this is a big side that's looking on form. And look, to take 9 rounds off both maps, as questionable as the veto may have been, you know, you take that, you work with it, and hopefully lower bracket to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And what could have been as well, because the fact they were up 6-0, the fact they were looking incredibly strong, but you got to give full credit to Big because they've been looking incredible recently, and they continue that. They end the series win stops at 6, and they get relegated down into that lower bracket. Big progress, but who is going to join them? It is 1 out of 9 pandas and into the breach.
Yeah, and that'll be happening in probably, what, about half hour, 40 minutes for the pre-show. So really not that long, Brandon, until we jump into the deep end for that one as well. So stick around for our fourth upper bracket game of today. Who will it be joining the big side today? We'll find out right after this.